A lot of people think, we think barbecue, we just think either steaks on the grill or, some burgers and hot dogs, but I want to expand our grilling menu. So I want to first work on some side dishes, then I'll get to an entree, then more side dishes and some dessert. So it'll be lots of fun. So the first thing I actually want to do, so I love, you're grilling up steaks or burgers or whatever. A baked potato is just such an easy side dish. But who wants to, especially on a day like today when you're out cooking on the grill, who wants to have the oven on to 400 for like an hour? So I love the grilling baked potatoes and grilling other things too, grilling corn on the cob, grilling beets, all of those things. So what I did is I took a baked potato, basic baked potato, washed it, poked it with the fork, and I just popped it in the microwave. This is a thick one, so I did about 4 minutes and then I rotated it and did 4 more minutes. And then all I'm going to do is take a little olive oil, literally just a little olive oil, and I rub it all around. I coat it in olive oil and I get a little pinch of kosher salt. I rub that all around and I throw this right there on the grill. Now that can cook, instead of now taking, I don't know, maybe an hour in the microwave or an hour on the grill, it's halfway cooked or more than halfway cooked anyways. So this is going to be done by the time we put whatever meat on the grill. I think, what did I do? No, I didn't do that yesterday, but 15, 20 minutes maybe, and this will be done. I also want to do the same thing with corn on the cob because we're going to use some corn in a recipe later. So the way I do corn on the cob, and there's tons of ways to do this, this just works for me. I husk it, I wrap it in a wet paper towel, microwave it 3 minutes or so. I think I might do a little bit of the olive oil drizzle. Today we're going to be, oh, you know what I did forget? I forgot my little corn shucker. I'll have to use a knife. We're going to just be grilling it this way because I want to get that sort of golden brown color. But usually what I do, or frequently what I do with corn on the cob, after I par cook it in the microwave, I wrap it in foil. But before I wrap up the foil, I take this little seasoning mix, which I'm going to tell you the recipe in a little bit. Rub it all over the corn. It's like a smoky sweet seasoning. Wrap it in foil and again, grill that, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. And it just is absolutely delicious. So you can do the same thing. You can roast beets this way. I've done sweet potatoes. So it's a great way to get some other side dishes, still not heating up the oven. So that's fun. Another fun side dish, which goes deliciously on top of burgers, you can put it on fish, chicken, is roasted pepper, or not roasted, grilled peppers and onions. You can do whatever kinds of onions you want. You can do whatever kinds of peppers you want. Today, I just decided to go easy because the green peppers at Stop and Shop were $1. So I just grabbed one of those. And the red peppers were gigantic and I didn't need one of those. And I am just going to cut this into not quite bite-sized pieces. I would say into big hunks. And if you can see my other camera, we're going to see we've got lots of seeds in there. So I am just going to cut it into, like I said, bite-sized hunks. It's going to shrink up a little bit on the grill anyways. I'm going to pop that into a bowl. Let's see. You could even, there we go, it's a little safer. You could top this if you were making grilled pizza, which I'm not making today, but you could take the roasted or grilled peppers and onions and top them, throw them on top of a pizza, which would be delicious. All right, I think that's enough peppers. And we want to get some onion in here. Similar size. The thing with grilling, just like everything else, you want everything to be roughly the same size so that they all cook evenly. Oops. All right, now we've got our bowl of peppers and onions, and I am going back to take that olive oil again, just a little drizzle of olive oil and a little sprinkle of salt. Toss it around just to coat it is all. Honestly, I would most likely use my fingers to do this. And now I have this grill basket. You don't need a grill basket. If you don't have a grill basket, you're going to want bigger hunks. But the grill basket really is helpful to keep things from falling into the grill. All right, so we are 10 minutes in, and we have already got 3 side dishes going. And like I said, the peppers and onions, they can be a side dish, they can be a garnish to the meat, whatever you want to use them as. So let's just clean up my peppers and onion mess. Get those seeds gone. All right. Maybe a little bird, I'll eat the little sweet pepper seed, I don't know. So the next thing that I want to do is talking about meats. So I am going to do some grilled chicken today. And the thing with meats is, and how long do you grill these? I sort of keep rotating the potato and the corn just until, oh, see, the corn's already getting a little brown. And I just sort of stir that up while I'm cooking everything else. You just cook it until it looks like you want to eat it. The thing with grilling meats, obviously you can just throw a plain old chicken breast or a steak or something on the grill, but I love to season them with things. So there's 2 ways to add flavor when it comes to meats. We can do a dry rub, which is a great way to add flavor, or we can do a marinade, which adds flavor, but also adds, can help tenderize whatever the meat is. But you do need to be careful when you're tenderizing. Not all meats tenderize for the same amount of time because some meats are more delicate than other meats. So something like a fish, you're only going to marinate that for maybe 20 to 30 minutes. So that's a quick, like, you get home from work, stick the marinade on the fish, go turn on the grill, and you're ready to go. You don't need to do a lot of advanced planning for that. But if you marinate the fish a lot longer than that, the acids in the marinade, and that's what tenderizes the meat, actually tend to, they use the word cook, sometimes cook the proteins in the fish, and when it cooks them too long, and the same can happen with chicken, it just does weird things with the texture. So I would stick to 20 to 30 minutes on the fish. For chicken, we can do, as few as 3 hours, as many as 12 hours. I've actually done chicken, like prepared it the night before and just popped it in the fridge. One of my favorite ways to marinate chicken, and I've done this with beef too, and that's what I did with this today, is I love to get the chicken, especially, you don't have to do it this way, but when the big packs are on sale, and then I put maybe 1 to 2 chicken breasts in a Ziploc baggie. First of all, you'll notice when I take this chicken out, I pound it so it's not super thin. It's probably about 1 inch or so thick, but I don't want, 2 inches thick here and just narrow here, because this part's going to dry out before this part's done. So ideally, you always want your meat to be the same thickness. So I pound the chicken, I put it all in different baggies, and then to each baggie, I add a different marinade. I pop it in the freezer, and then all I need to do is, tomorrow night we're going to grill. Let me grab one of the bags of chicken out of the freezer, put it in the fridge. Overnight, as it's thawing, it marinates and it gets all that flavor in. So it's a super, super easy way to do this. Your key ingredients, and speaking of, I should probably get our chicken on the grill. Your key ingredients in a marinade, you need an acid. So that can be a citrus juice, that can be vinegar. So lime juice, orange juice, lemon juice. It can be balsamic vinegar, white vinegar, apple cider vinegar, rice wine vinegar, things like that. Those are going to be your basic ingredients, because it's the vinegar, like I said, that does the tenderizing, and then everything else is pretty much just for flavor. This particular recipe, one of my favorites, super easy, equal parts your favorite Italian dressing and your favorite barbecue sauce. Really, really easy. Another key thing you will notice me today, I have this as my chicken tong. I have this as my vegetable tongs. You do not ever want to use the same equipment. And there go, oh, a little breeze came up. You don't want to use the same equipment on raw meat as you do on the vegetables, just for food safety. So anything that may be on this raw meat is going to be cooked out as we're cooking. But, there we go, look at this chicken. But if I took this tong and started stirring around my peppers and onions, which might be almost done, all these potential hazards in the marinade from the chicken will not, there we go, will not be cooked off. Another word about marinades. So say I wanted to use this yummy sauce, 2 ways to do that. You do not want to use the marinade as is to serve with your cooked meat. But what I could do is I could bring this to a boil and simmer it, high simmer boil for 2 minutes, or I could make the marinade, put half of it in the bag with the raw meat or the bowl with the raw meat, and save half of it and have it never touch the raw meat. Now I can use that to baste or to serve with my meal. So just another food safety technique there. All right, so our chicken is on. So I said that, you know, you need the vinegar for the acid, but what other things can you add for flavor? So in here, we've got the barbecue sauce and we've got the Italian dressing. The acid comes from the vinegar in the Italian dressing. It's an olive and oil and vinegar, just basic vinaigrette. Another favorite marinade I have, actually, and I'm gonna send all these recipes so you guys can have the recipes. Another marinade, pineapple juice is the acid, and then it has some Thai sweet chili sauce and honey for a little sweet and hot, and that's absolutely delicious. And I have a sort of a taco ranch one where lime juice is the acid, and then I just add all those taco seasonings, the vinegar we need because there's not quite enough lime juice, and some ranch dressing all combined. So just delicious ways to add flavor to a food, and you're not really adding anything unhealthy. You're just flavoring. I mean, yeah, the one has the ranch dressing. We're not drinking a gallon of ranch dressing. We're just putting a little bit of creamy ranch dressing in our marinade, and that's perfectly healthy, perfectly fine. Now, I also mentioned rubs. So this rub that I put on my corn on the cob, you can put on chicken, you can put it on pork, you could probably put it on beef and other things. You could put it on sweet potatoes. I've never had it on fish. I don't know that I would like it on fish, but it's your kitchen, you do whatever you want. So all I do is I take, it's basically a few spices. So it's some brown sugar, a little bit of salt, which you could leave out if salt is an issue, some pepper, garlic powder, cumin, and chili powder. That is all this is. And what I do is I make a big batch of it and I put it in a little jelly jar. And this is my little trick. I always write the recipe. That's really not even very fancy. This was a sticky note. I wrote the recipe and I leave it on the jar. So when I run out, I can make this super easy without saying, what was in that? I don't remember. So this stays in my pantry, nice and dry. And it's always there to put on whatever I want to put it on. All right, let's do our flip again. Roll our corn a little bit. We're leaving our chicken as is, but we're gonna give our peppers and onions a stir. Okay. Whew. All right, so far we have got, we've talked about marinades. Does anybody have any questions or comments, by the way? We've talked about a dry rub. Oh, you know what? I never finished my marinating time. So we talked about fish. You don't want to marinate more than about a half an hour. I got too carried away with my chicken and my freezing chicken. Chicken, 3 to 12, up to 24 hours is probably fine. Beef, you can definitely go up to the 24-hour mark. So that's another one I will do. We go camping every summer. So I love to do the little bag marinade. We have steak tips in one bag. We have chicken tenders in one bag, different marinades. I take them camping frozen. They go in the cooler frozen. And then as they naturally thaw, whichever one thaws out first, that's the one we use that first night. And it's a great way. You don't have to worry about keeping them cold. I mean, they're in the cooler, so they'll stay cold, but you don't have to worry about them, getting too warm. They're always going to stay cold and just thaw out naturally and be ready to use. So that is, let's see, those are our marinades. We've got our veggies. I'm going to check my chicken. I think I do want to. Oh, yeah. It is looking delicious. I'm going to lift it up and show you guys. I just want to make sure I don't drop it. So it is getting delicious looking. All right, and put that. Trying to find a place to put the tongs so they don't fall on the ground. There we go. Okay. All right, so the next two things we are making, let me make sure I haven't skipped anything. Nope, haven't skipped anything. So the next couple things we're gonna make is, I said we're gonna make a dessert. So I love grilled fruit on the grill, obviously, it's grilled fruit. Has anyone ever tried grilled fruit before? It is absolutely delicious. And it really helps to caramelize the sugars in the fruit. So we're gonna start with, today we are doing pineapple. So I have a delicious pineapple. And you know what, I've always wondered, and there's lots of ways to tell if different fruits and things like that are ripe. I have a trick for my pineapple, and I'm usually pretty lucky. So the first thing you wanna look for is color. You want to look for as much yellow as possible versus green. It's always going to have a lot of green, but look for as much yellow as you can. You don't want it to turn brown. Once it gets to the brown, it's almost overripe. So golden yellow as much as possible. That was what the produce guy one time told me at the store, and it seems to work. I do two other things. I smell the bottom, and it should smell sweet. It should smell like a pineapple. And then my third thing is I pull out a center leaf. And if it comes pretty easily, then it's ripe. Again, all of these could be old wives' tales, but I do all three of them, and I'm usually pretty lucky with my pineapple. So let me rotate my corn one more time. And I'm actually going to turn the heat up a bit on my corn. Oops, wrong way. There we go. On my corn, because we need to be able to get that off the grill and use it in a minute. All right, so when it comes to grilled fruit, you can literally just grill it and eat it right off the grill, which I have done. Oiled sliced parsnips. Oh, that sounds good too. Oh, you could do the same thing with carrots too. That would be delicious. I'll have to try that. Thank you. Peaches. He had said peaches. Peaches, I guess all I've really, nectarines would be the same too. All you do is cut them in, well, I sort of cut around the pit and give a little twist, and then there's a pit in one side and not in the other. I use a spoon or something to pop out the pit, and I just smack them down, cut side down on the grill. You can oil them if you want. You don't have to. I am going to do our watermelon now. So I magic removed the top. And I've got this awesome little pineapple thing. I cannot hold the pineapple up and show you what I'm doing, but I'm basically, and sorry, the other one is, the camera is shaking. So basically you twist this, too high, there we go. You twist the little cutter down through the pineapple, and wait till you see, if you've never seen this, wait till you see what I come up with here. Oh, I think I put too much hand lotion on today. A little slippery. So I'm literally twisting until I feel that I get to the bottom of the pineapple. Okay. So now I've got it just like that. And now I give it a little twist back. And then I usually do this in the sink because I have leverage. Oh my gosh, yes, at the farmers markets, fresh vegetables, fresh fish. I will say the other thing we do, one of the places we camp is the Cape, and one night, so I'll bring the chicken one night, I'll bring the steak one night, and the third night, excuse me as I'm yanking my pineapple out, the third night is always getting some fresh fish and grilling it. And we, you know, the thing is, when you can get that fresh fish, you have so many different options than just, you know, at the grocery store, there's cod and haddock and salmon. Sometimes you might find something else. So I'm not going to show you the fun trick of pulling out all of the pineapple, but I will say I did end up with some slices. Okay, so basically the pineapple slicer typically pulls out the whole wad of the middle of the pineapple, cored and sliced, and it's awesome. I've never not been able to get one out. So anyways, now I take this just like I would do a peach, a nectarine, and I throw it right on my grill. And again, how long am I grilling? I'm grilling until it looks the way I want to eat it. For me, that's going to be starting to get some golden brown lines in it. For you, it may be more than that. For some, it may be you're just warming it up a little bit. So we're going to, yeah. I think our potato is almost done. Our corn is almost done. I want to check the temperature of our chicken. Again, food safety, we want to make sure that the meat is grilled all the way. For chicken, we want to get to about 165. So you want to stick it in the thickest part, not stick it all the way through. If you stick it all the way through, you're going to be touching the hot grill. And obviously that's going to be super hot. So this is not quite ready in the thickest part. I always slide it in at an angle. So I am going to take my meat tongs here and, oh, look at it. It's starting to get nice and golden. I'm going to flip it one more time. Oh, I did turn that heat up a little bit, so that will help. That will help those things cook. So now we've got some side dishes going. We have got some garnishes going, and they are, I think they are, oh, they are just about done. So I'm going to turn this burner off, and I am going to grab a bowl. And I just want to show you these peppers and onions, nice and brown. So here's what we're looking at. Whoops, that way. Nice and brown. And just, I mean, you can just smell the yummy onions and peppers. And you, I mean, honestly, you could make these up. And, you know, if you're grilling one night, make a huge batch of these up. Pop them in the fridge. I meant to use the other tongs for the meat, or these tongs for the meat and the other ones for this, because these don't grab as well. But you could roast up a bunch of these peppers and onions, pop them in the fridge, and just have them with whatever you are cooking during the week. These would be delicious. Mixed in with some rice, in with some pasta. Again, there's what we're looking at, is this bowl of peppers and onions. So, so good. One more item while these are cooking. I need to get my corn off the grill because I'm going to be making a, oh, there we go. All right, so I just wanted to char my corn up a bit, just like that. Remember, it was par cooked. So I am going to leave this here for a minute and let it cool off while we make the rest of the recipe. So what I'm going to be making is a black bean and corn salad, basically, or corn salsa. Oh yeah, put it in a frittata. Oh, put it in a quiche. I mean, just, they would go in anything. Even if you didn't want to get as fancy as a frittata, you just want to scramble up some eggs just in a quick minute. Okay, let's move this here. So I am going to be making this black bean and corn salsa. Super, super easy. you didn't want to grill the corn, you could use a can of corn. I just thought, hey, we're grilling, why not? Oh, quinoa and beans with the peppers and onions, delicious. So what we're going to throw into this is, where did my limes go? Here we go. We've got the 2 tablespoons of lime juice, which is basically, where'd my big knife go? Choose from a couple of limes. So I'm going to slice these in half and juice them. And I clearly need to sharpen my knife. There we go. And I love my little juicer. I use this for limes, lemons. Pop it in there and squeeze just like that. All right, so good thing we need 2 limes. We will do instant replay number 3. And 4. All right, so that is the juice of 2 limes. Set that over there. And a little bit of light mayonnaise. You could use non-fat plain Greek yogurt for this. I've never tried it though. We're only using a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, so it's really not that much. But the yogurt would certainly be much healthier. It would add a bit more of a tang. So that's an option you can have there. But all I'm doing right now is basically making the dressing. Just put a lid on this. So this is one of those, I love this. I just sort of, I love these one pot, one dish things. Oh yeah, avocado mayo would be a good option. So I am making the dressing right here in the bowl. None of this like dirtying up 5 different bowls to make a salad. So I am just going to sort of combine all this together. All right, just like that. I'm also adding, where'd it go? A 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. That's going to be part of our seasoning. If you have never used cumin, it is not at all spicy. It is just a little bit smoky. My spatula wants to keep falling in. All right. Oh, it smells like tacos to me already. I made quinoa black bean burgers with pureed walnuts and spices from a recipe on YouTube. Oh, delicious. Oh, see, you could top those with some grilled peppers and onions. Yeah, I made I made quinoa black bean burgers once. I definitely made black bean burgers. I can't remember if I put quinoa in them. All right, so we have just a basic dressing. All right, so now we just start dumping basically. So I have a can of low sodium black beans. So if you can't find the low sodium, it's not the end of the world. I rinse and drain all my beans anyways, which takes away about 40% of the salt. So that's it. We've got a can of the black beans, sorry. If you were using canned corn, this is when you would dump in the can of corn. So just a 11-ounce can of corn, drained as well. I'm going to add the corn last since I still want my corn to cool off a bit. The next ingredient is going to be either a cup of cherry or grape tomatoes halved, which I was not about to have the tomatoes today. So I got a can of petite diced tomatoes, which I drained. Throw those in there. This is going to be delicious, served with some tortilla chips, or you could also serve it. This would be a side dish easily. I should be mixing over here. All right. The next ingredient is a 1/2 cup of chopped red onion. I tend to chop my onion very small, and I tend to not use as much as the recipe says, just because I don't like eating raw onion. But it does add a nice flavor. So I am going to get a nice thick slice here. And honestly, what I normally do with onion, but I just had a lot going on today with this demo, is I will chop it ahead of time And when I say ahead of time, I mean like right when I start the recipe. And simply add it to a bowl of cold water, or add cold water to it. Let that soak just until I need the onion. Drain it and add it. And that sort of takes away some of the sharp bite there. All right, so we've got our onion. We're going to dump that in our bowl. All right, next ingredient is 2 tablespoons of fresh cilantro, which I'm not using because I hate cilantro. You know, I'm one of those people that it tastes funny for. But please, if you like it, feel free to put it in. And then a teaspoon of minced jalapeno, which again, I just forgot to get that at the store. But that's the thing. I'm making it myself. It's fine. So now what I'm going to do is I just want to get my corn. I have this awesome little corn shucker where you just, I guess it's not a shucker. I don't know. It removes the corn kernels. And it's just like this knife in a like a case, and it goes down and it collects all the corn. But like I said, I was forgetful today and I forgot that. So I am just going down my corn with my sharp knife. And now that I've husked this corn, it's a skinny one. So I would probably, if your corn on the cob is skinny, I would honestly probably do 2 of these up, just to really, it is a corn and black bean salsa, you know, so we do want some corn in there. So if you use a can, you're going to have much more corn, but like I said, just get 2 cobs. There we go. All right, and now we put our corn in there. Oh. There we go. You didn't see me, but or maybe you did if you're on that camera. I whacked my knife into the stool my camera's on, so I lost a big old spoonful of corn. All right, so this is our delicious. So in your heads, imagine more corn. Do extra corn for the extra peppers and onions. Oh yeah, yeah. If I had extra corn, I would. But yeah, that's a great idea. You could totally just leave out the jalapeno and the onion and have it be a corn tomato black bean salsa. But like I said, this can be especially when there's more corn in it. This would be a delicious side dish, but it's a great fiber and nutrient rich dip. Like you're having friends over and you want to have some salsa and chips. That is a great option. All right, we are going to, I sort of left my pineapple here sad by itself. Our baked potato totally done. So see how it's got some grill marks on it. We are going to check our chicken now. Where'd my thermometer go? That should be totally done. Yes, 165.6. Our chicken is done. So I'm actually going to turn off my burners because it's hot here. Let me show you. So the thing with chicken, I turned up the heat. This marinade has some sugar on it. So if you don't like things charred, then you're going to keep flipping it and cook it at a lower temperature. I turned my heat up and the sugar caramelized. It's not burnt, it's just brown and golden, but it's whatever you like to do. So now this chicken is cooked. I can put it anywhere except in the bowl that the raw chicken came in. I will not do it there. We've got our peppers and onions, which honestly, just dump these over that chicken, delicious. Or slice open the potato, fill it with the peppers and onions, and you could totally slice open the baked potato, fill it with the corn and black bean salsa, delicious. When I serve the salsa, I don't want to do it today because honestly, it's so hot out here, I'm afraid it will melt. I shred up some cheddar cheese and I just garnish the salsa with that. Would be delicious if you did that on the baked potato. And now we are getting ready. Let's see, we've got there we go. All right, I don't want it to rip. But look at that. You can see it is just, you know, nice and brown. This one doesn't, he needs a little bit more work on that side. But that is it. This came together much quicker than I thought it was going to. But do you guys have any questions or comments? I mean, we grilled chicken, we grilled some side dishes, we grilled corn and used it in a dish. We got our grilled fruit. Oh, and so you can eat the fruit as is, but it's also delicious if you maybe sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon or brown sugar on it, or really good with a scoop of either lime or like a rainbow sorbet or sherbet. Really delicious on the grilled fruit. That just the combination of flavors is really, really good. So that is, how would you do a portobello mushroom? So to tell you the honest truth, I do not like mushrooms, so I wouldn't do anything with it. But what I would do if I were cooking it for somebody else is I would take the, if you just have the caps, you can literally just oil them up on both sides and throw them on the grill like you would a burger. And just, keep an eye on it. They're soft, so they are going to cook up fairly quickly. So I would do it more of a low heat. The idea is you don't need to cook the portobello mushroom. You just need, because you can eat them raw. The idea is you just want it warmed, so it's like a burger. So a slow heat just to get it nice and warmed through without burning it. But yeah, I would do the olive oil on both sides. What would be fun too would be to get some different seasonings and season it up. So I have, I love McCormick's makes a lot of these grilling seasonings, and they have some that are low salt, which are much healthier. This one is a smokehouse maple. Last night we used a Brazilian steakhouse one. So I would, if it were me, if I liked mushrooms, I would take the portobello, I would rub it with oil, and I would add one of these seasonings. I think it would just add a delicious, delicious flavor. So how would you emulate the grilled flavor if you don't have a grill? So you can buy, it's not going to be quite the same, but you can buy grill pans that have the sort of, the raised grill. I don't know what you call those, just it's not a flat pan. It would have the little lines in it like a grill pan. And so you could do it like that. And honestly, what I would do in that case, I would be more inclined to certainly add one of these, like a smoky kind of grill seasoning. The cumin is smoky. I would add one of the grilled seasonings if I was using a grill pan in the house versus a grill, because I think that will also help add to that grill flavor. Yeah, if you didn't have a grill, I would, like I said, do all the same things, get the olive oil, the seasonings, and I think that would be delicious. And I think we are going to get our pineapple and put him right here on our chicken. Yeah, just be careful when you are grilling. I will tell you. Bring your plate to your grill. Do not bring your food to your plate, because you will drop something and it will be outside on your deck or your patio where you cannot pick it up and eat it. If you don't have a grill thermometer, let's see. If you don't have a grill thermometer, what do I look for in my meats? So I really, really, really highly recommend a grill thermometer. You can get them. I mean, this was probably like $10 on Amazon. But they're, just because it's really hard to tell, the center of a piece of meat. But what I've always also been told is you can sort of feel the texture of the meat compared to the skin between your thumb and your finger. So when I want to try and remember to do this right. All right, so when your finger is relaxed, this is sort of raw. It's very loose and jiggly. And then as you tighten it, it gets firmer. And so the idea is checking if when you sort of poke, and you don't want to poke with a fork, you don't want to poke everything, all the juices get out. So what I would do is take the edge of your tongs or even a spoon, and let's see, let's get our meat here. I have a fork. So you're going to want to sort of just press it and see, I don't know if you guys can see, this is pretty darn firm. If this was very undercooked, my fork would dip in, it'd be just much softer and mushier. The more cooked the meat is, the firmer it's going to get. So that's, you want to sort of, wow, that smells delicious now that I had it up there. So again, this is very raw, very jiggly. And as I tighten my fist, I feel like I'm doing this right. As I tighten my fist, it gets much firmer right there. So this is more done meat than this. I hope I explained that well. Yes, if you like eggplant, grilled eggplant would be awesome. Really, I've actually grilled cauliflower and I messed it up, but the idea with grilled cauliflower is people make cauliflower steaks. So you want to take that whole head of cauliflower and slice it into, you know, thick slices. And definitely don't make them too thin. If you make them too thin, they fall apart. That's what I did. You don't have a cauliflower steak. But you want at least, I don't know, like an inch thick maybe. Brush them with that olive oil. You could even brush things with flavored oils if you have any, if you like spicy foods. You know, I've been using olive oil for everything, but you could use a sriracha oil or a garlic infused oil and put different oils on things, sprinkle that kosher salt or a grilling seasoning right on there. And that would be fun too. I've never grilled broccoli, but I was in the store the other day and a woman said that she grills broccoli just like she roasts it. So I want to try that. So for me, that would be cutting it into florets, drizzling with olive oil and kosher salt. And I would probably use the grill basket for that. Oh yeah, definitely add some garlic scapes with the peppers and onions. I mean, there's so many different colored peppers. I just ordered my these, you know, basic green peppers and onions. This would be beautiful with rainbow peppers, with different onions. You could use a red onion, a white onion, a yellow onion, yellow, green pepper, red pepper, orange pepper, get some hot peppers, banana peppers. You could use lots of different things. So can you use an ordinary thermometer? Depends on what you mean by an ordinary thermometer. So not the kind that you would take your temperature with, but if it's any kind of cooking thermometer, you can use that. You don't want to use, like this is not a special grilling thermometer. This is just, I use this in the house. It's just a digital thermometer for any kind of cooking. It goes from -58 to 572 degrees Fahrenheit. So I could make bread with this. I could check candy with this. I can cook meat with this. So you just, you don't need a special grilling thermometer. So if that was your question, no. Any cooking thermometer should work. Except if it's just a candy thermometer, those tend to have very specific ranges and probably won't go high enough for meats. But if it's a standard cooking thermometer, it should be fine.
The watermelon, right? So you can make watermelon like steaks. So you would cut them very thick and then you carve off the rind, and you can keep the rinds for like pickles if you want to, but you make them like a consistency of a beef steak. And you can just, I usually put some kind of barbecue sauce and you grill them like you would a steak. And it's a little bit sweeter, but the idea is that you get the same kind of consistency.
Oh, that's awesome. I have the barbecue sauce. That shocks me. All right. I have got to try that. That sounds delicious. Thank you. I never tried fish that tasted good. Never tried fish that tasted good. All right. I got to say, I'm not a fish lover myself, but you need to try. If you are not a fish lover, try either sole or flounder. I had to think of Little Mermaid's friend. Flounder or sole, which are basically the same fish. Very, like, sole is a type of flounder or vice versa. I can't remember. Very, very mild, very, very tender. So what I would do to grill fish, and this is just the way we do it because it's easier, take some aluminum foil, spray it with like cooking spray or grilling spray, and season up the fish. We have some different seasonings for fish, like a lemon pepper and honestly, I've got some Trader Joe's like chili lime seasoning. put that on the fish, put the foil on the thing, and use a spatula versus a tong, and just cook it. It's not going to take very long to cook it all, like a couple of minutes on each side, basically, just till it flakes. But really, that is delicious. Probably now, if I make fish, like I would only want to buy sole or flounder because it's so melt in your mouth. So give that a try. Wow. Yeah. All right. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Stay cool.